Well, good morning, everybody. It is Saturday. This would be week three, 3 weeks of carnivore. I did have a cheat day, so let's talk about it. Um, I had I had a chocolate bar, a dark chocolate bar. Um, Not really because I was wanting a craving sweet or anything. Chocolate's good, it's a fun thing, but um, because Kevin Rutherford talks about it. I've got a lot of my information from Kevin Rutherford and then books that I've read or listened to on Audible while I'm driving, and a lot of the carnivore doctors that talk about all this stuff. And oxalate dumping can be a thing for carnivores. Now, I've been mostly carnivore for a couple of years, so I didn't think that oxalate dumping would affect me. If you guys don't know, our current diet in America has a lot of foods that are very, very high in oxalates. And I don't know the science behind it, but I don't believe oxalates are good for you, and our body holds on to them. When you go cold turkey to zero oxalates, your body starts getting rid of it everywhere it can, and people will notice like eye crystals, like you know, because your body's trying to get rid of these oxalates. Well, the other day I had this small ache in my big toe on my right foot, and I've heard that people experiencing that before, where they've had symptoms that could be described as gout, and it's from oxalate dumping, and it eventually goes away once you get rid of all the oxalates, but sometimes it takes a while. So Kevin Rutherford's always talked about sometimes it's good to bring some oxalates in small doses to kind of stop that dumping. It triggers the body to hold on again and stop dumping. Now it doesn't end as quickly, but so anyway, I went and got some dark chocolate, and I had a dark chocolate bar, just thinking, maybe I want to get ahead of this. Um, and so I did have a cheat that has a little bit of sugar in it. I picked a good brand that does not have soy lectin in it, which is very difficult to find chocolate that does not have soy lectin. Um, and I think the brand I chose, Walmart carries it. Let me see if I can find it in my box here. Yeah, Walmart carries it, and it looks like HU is the brand name. Um, and it's a pretty good. I've seen it before. I've used that chocolate before for just for a fun snack. That's a relatively healthy fun snack. I want to say they use coconut sugar or something for the sweetener instead of sugar. I can't read the ingredients right now, obviously, but so I did have one of those a couple days ago, just to possibly bring oxalates in, maybe to get ahead of oxalate dumping. Again, guys, I don't think that because I've had very low oxalates in my diet for the last couple of years, other than some cheat days here and there. I'm not sure if that's what it was, because my toe still kind of got a dull ache to it, and I might have sprained it jumping off my trailer, because I went on a jog the other day and I'm still jumping up and down my trailer. It's not affecting me. It's not hurting. It's just a dull ache, like I sprained it, or like I, bent it backwards a little too far. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect me. I can walk and run, and I almost don't even feel it. But if I think about it, I can be like, yeah, there's an ache there. Why is it aching in the joint? So I don't know, guys. It could be oxalate dumping. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Um, but that is something that most carnivores, if you go cold turkey, they will notice oxalate dumping. Sometimes it's rare, I think, that it shows up in signs like joint pain, but sometimes it does. So be cautious of that. If you go cold turkey into carnivore, you might start to see those. Might be good for you to carry some chocolate. I don't know other foods that might be high in oxalates. Probably like your broccoli, some of your green vegetables are probably high in oxalates. Um, but it might. So that's why I've always said, almost every video I think I mention, It's best. I would really, especially for truck drivers, it's best if you um, probably don't go cold turkey. Probably start with cutting out grains, seed oils. Do that for a couple of months, maybe 6 months. Then go into keto, where you're very very low carb. Um, then maybe from there you can transform into straight up carnivore, and you could go strict for a while and see if, and you should see signs all the way through whatever you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to cure diabetes, type 2 diabetes, if you're trying to get rid of fatty liver disease, if you're trying to get, all these sort of things that are affecting every American, and truck drivers even more so. Come on, buddy, stay in your lane. All right. Truck drivers even more so, because we're out here working long hours, not much activity, constantly in situations where it's difficult to cook, it's difficult to prepare food, and we're just constantly being bombarded with bad food. So truck drivers have it worse than anybody, and Americans have it worse all the way around, right? So if you're trying to cure any of those problems, most truck drivers could stand to lose weight, right? So that's probably going to be the most common thing. You should notice that in all of those forms that I recommend. Cutting out grains and seed oils, you should lose a lot of weight right there. Then when you go low carb, that should continue the weight loss. Then if you go from low carb to carnivore, that should really kick it off. So I don't know, guys. Give it a try. Go no grains, no seed oils for a week and see how you feel. Chances are you'll feel great and you'll want to continue. But if you do go strict, like straight up just from the standard American diet to straight carnivore, you will notice some bad symptoms like the Hershey squirts. You'll probably get like really tired and maybe even body aches, because your body is trying to get used to not having carbs, not running on sugar. It's having to convert from this sugar burning state to fat burning state. And sometimes when your body's been on sugar burning state for the last 40 years, your body kind of struggles to get to switch fuel types. But once it does switch fuel types, now all of a sudden you're burning fat for fuel, and guess what you have on your body? A lot of fuel, right? And that's why it works as a weight loss strategy, because you've tricked your body into saying, no, don't burn glucose, don't burn carbs, don't burn sugar, because there aren't any. Burn fat. And guess what? We have fat for days to burn. And so it doesn't really matter how much fuel you're taking in, your body will burn fat, its own fat. So if you've seen any of my shorts, you can tell that I'm not starving myself. I am eating a ton, right? The last short I did, I was looking at my body, and I had just had 16 hamburgers at the patties only the meat, at McDonald's. McDonald's has a pretty good price for just patties, and they sell them separately. You have to order them off the a la carte menu, so you can't order it off the auto thing. You have to talk to a person, a human being. But you can order just the patties, and it's pretty easy, simple, pretty cheap, and the patties are pretty delicious, I think. So I eat a lot. I eat a lot of food. It's just meat only, eggs, bacon, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's basically what I eat. And you can eat a ton. You can eat every time you're hungry. You can eat until you're stuffed, and you'll still burn weight. You'll still lose weight. Now, if you have a lot of weight to burn, once you get to that spot where you've tricked your body into burning fat, you've broken the carb cravings, which for me took about 10 days. So once you break those carb cravings and you no longer crave, then you might start to restrict calories, but be careful doing that. I don't know. You want to do some research. But just because you have so much fat on your body to burn, you could start to restrict calories, and it might like push you into massive amount of weight loss. like I said, be careful with that. I think you probably want to just keep eating as much as you want because you're always going to burn fat. You might be able to burn more if you don't bring in fat and don't bring in calories, but then you're also going to burn muscle. And we don't want to burn muscle. We don't want to eat our own muscle. We want to, and that's why the carnivore diet works so great. It's called a muscle sparing diet because we're bringing in so much protein, so much fat that our body doesn't have to look at our muscles for fuel. It looks at our fat for fuel. But it might be a little slower than people like. But slow is good, guys. Slow is healthy. So anyway, so this is 3 weeks. I am feeling great, honestly. I feel like I have plenty of energy. It really has not been that hard, but I've been mostly carnivore, like I keep saying, for a couple of years. This is 3 weeks, very strict, other than one chocolate, dark chocolate bar that kind of was a cheat. And like I said, I did it because of oxalate dumping, but I don't know if that was even, I don't think that was a thing for me. I don't know. We'll see. And I've got a couple more bars in there, so I might cheat because they're delicious, you know, screw it, whatever. There's no, I don't really think there's anything wrong with cheating once in a while if you're healthy. If you're trying to cure cancer, if you're trying to cure, you know, some sort of tumor or diabetes or obesity or something serious that's going to wipe you out, right? You should not cheat at all. You should be as strict as ever. You might even be straight up lion diet, which is just beef, salt, water, nothing else. Those 3 things go in your mouth. That's it. There's no pepper. There's no seasoning. Nothing. If you had cancer, you got something like that, that's what I would recommend. Go absolutely strict for as long as you can before you think about chemo or any sort of surgery or anything like that. Give the natural body time to kill the cancer before you go to the doctor. Well, you're probably going to already go to the doctor because by the time you know you have cancer, you've already been to the doctor. But while we're waiting to get some of these treatments done, or even while you're doing these treatments, I would be as strict can be because your life depends on it. But when you're healthy, like I am, and you've gotten your stuff under control, then a cheat here and there is not going to hurt. Well, it will hurt. It's just we can afford to hurt our bodies a little bit. It sounds weird, but if we're healthy and we take good care of our bodies, when we're home with family, with friends, we can afford to, you know, come off of that diet a little bit. And that's why I do this. That's why we do this as truck drivers. We go out, we work our ass off to support our families, and we take good care of our body while we're out. And when we're back, we blow it all. Right? Blow all our money on our wives if I had a wife. By the way, guys, I have so much money right now in my personal account. My business is still a little bit shaky, but I have so much money in my personal account because why? I haven't had a girlfriend in almost a year. It's amazing how expensive women are. Every guy out there is agreeing with me right now. You want to see a broke guy? Show me a guy that's been married for a long time. You want to show me a rich guy? Show me a guy who's been single his whole life. Anyway, that was just a side note. But yeah, so when we go home, guys, we blow it. We blow our money and we blow our diets. Just try not to blow it too badly, right? Try to have a little self-control. Hopefully, you've got a good wife who understands how hard you work for your money, and you guys work together to have good budgets and everything else. I'm not saying that all women are like that. It's just that it's kind of a stereotype that women get. And they get it honestly, guys. You know, we know it. So anyway, that is the 3-week update. Everything's looking pretty good. I did have one cheat day, which because of the sugar and carbs, it probably would have thrown me a little out of ketosis, or at least dropped my ketosis level a little bit. But that's been a couple days ago, so I'm right back into it again. So yeah, everything's looking pretty good. This is Saturday. Tomorrow's going to be a reset day for me. For the non-truck drivers, once a week, the DOT requires that we have a 34-hour off period where we don't do anything other than do this and stare at the asphalt, which is awful stupid, but that's what the DOT decided that was absolutely important, so that's what we do. So on those days, I try to do things like grease the truck, take care of some office work on the computer, and I try to get to the gym. So we'll see where I park. Maybe I can get a lift and go to the gym. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'll do some push-ups. Maybe I'll sit out on my trailer, get a suntan, stuff like that. I try to, on my 34 resets, take care of me. I have a business to take care of too, so it's kind of a split obligation there. But so tomorrow will be a reset day, and I'll see where I get parked. I'll see if I can make it to a gym and get a little bit of work done. So anyway, that's the 3-week update, guys. Hope you guys are having a good week. Hope that you guys are sticking strong to the diet. Hope you guys are seeing good results on your diet. And remember, it does take time to break those carb cravings. The first week, like I said, probably the first 10 days, guys, I was bad wanting to walk into the Pilot and buy a pint of ice cream, because ice cream is my favorite cheat. And I got that way because it is kind of a carnivore cheat. Let's face it, if you buy a good brand of ice cream like Haagen-Dazs, or however they say it, it's pretty clean. It's cream, egg yolks, whatever fruit they put in there, and sugar, pretty much. And then there's some other things that aren't healthy, like the gum that they put in cream, right? But it's fairly healthy as a cheat. So I got used to doing that, and it became a little overboard. So be careful with the cheats, because they can put you into a spot where you want nothing but cheats. I got to the point where I was like, I just wanted to live on ice cream. That's all I wanted to eat. It was pretty bad. So anyway, guys, hope you guys are having a good week. Hope you guys are having good results with the diet. Stay strong. When you're out, stay strong on a diet. And then when you get home, have fun.